Hello, welcome, and very good morning. And I am indeed honored and privileged to join this beautiful power packed panel on Inspire, Innovate, and Integrate with Take Advantage. I am Dr. Rajeshri Datta Kumar, and I join you as Executive Director, Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, here to this wonderful and a very highly competent and power packed panel. I would also now like to invite our next panelist. I'll, I'll invite Gaurav Vashni, who is DGM Regional Marketing, Tata Tele Business Services. Can I have Gaurav on board? I request Mr. Gaurav Ahuja, founder and the solution, to join us at the panel.
Thank you.
I request Gaurav Vashni, DGM Regional Marketing, Tata Tele Business Services, to join us on the panel.
Dr. Rashmi, good morning.
I welcome Devendra Singh, Digital Mantra, founder Digital Mantra, to join us. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome Ankita Jain. She is co-founder GoPaisa.com. I welcome Mr. Rajiv Saraf, CEO, Lepton Software, to join us at this panel.
Thank you.
I welcome Mr. Hitesh Sharma, founder and CEO, Sahayata Global Assistance Private Limited. Can I also have Parikshit Gautam, founder Mera Mali, on board with us?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And also welcome Vaibhav Raghuvanshi, CEO, Felicitas Analytical. So I welcome all of you for this very thought-provoking and a rigor-driven, agenda-driven panel discussion on Inspire, Innovate, and Integrate with Take Advantage. We have such a wonderful panel, those who are leaders in their respective fields. And I now welcome and request Mr. Gaurav Vashni from Tata Tele Business Services to kindly share a few words, and if you could just share the set the context also of the panel. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Rashmi, for the generous introduction, and good morning to all the panelists. And I really want to welcome all of you on this panel, and on behalf of Tata Tele Business Services on this topic, that we're going to brainstorm for the next 1 hour. And it's great to have, while we were just chatting offline a little bit earlier, it was great to have such an esteemed panel with with us. And I really want to thank again Dr. Rashmi for setting up this beautiful topic. I would say inspire, innovate, and integrate with tech advantage. I think quite a relevant topic considering the times we are in right now. We have seen probably the worst time of our lives, if I can say. I'm the last 1.5 years where we were locked inside the houses. We were just down to our basic needs and everything. And then coming out of that scenario and doing so well in their respective businesses. I've been talking to a lot of SMEs in the past 6-7 months. There've been some great stories. There've been some great turnaround stories that you can count on, that you can talk about. So clearly, there's been some inspiration which is there in the country, in the market as of now. And yes, innovation. I think there has not been a better time to innovate in the country or in the world in the last 1 year than I can think on. People have actually innovated, to the roof. I mean, in terms of finding out the ways to communicate, the finding out ways to collaborate, finding out ways to get their work done in a time where everybody was locked inside their houses, was not going to the office, and integrate, as I said. So a lot of collaboration tools have come into the picture. A lot of new ideas have come in terms of how to integrate, how to work together, how to work as a team, and that's where that's the topic I think we guys are going to talk about in the next 1 year. And as I said, I want to welcome everybody on behalf of Tata Delhi Business Services, and I'm looking forward for a powerful, action-packed, and great context, in the next 1.5 hours. So over to you, Dr. Rashi.
Thank you, Gaurav. So now that you have very aptly set the context, there's nothing much that I have to do. Thank you so much for that. I'll uh, ask my first question. My first question goes to all of you, my distinguished panelists. But I would like Mr. Rajiv Saraf to start the first question, which is, what are your thoughts on this panel discussion that is, I mean, that we have all joined for, and in the context of your organization, what are your thoughts? I mean, what do you see, inspire, innovate, integrate, and take advantage, the background of your organization? But it has to be a very quick answer, sir.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Datta. So, I mean, when you look at these words, inspire, innovate, integrate, the first thought that you comes to your mind is that we're talking about in startup, right? I mean, this is what every startup is now associated with. And so the point and the point that I'm trying to make here is that today, if I look at my kind of organization, which is technically, we are more than 2 decades old, but we have to work in the startup mode. Every day we are working in startup mode. And my role in an organization is really not of somebody who drives business, but really is in terms of a chief innovative officer, although I'm the CEO and founder. But half of the day I'm thinking about what to do next. What is the new innovation that I can bring into my organization? So I think it's really apt. I mean, the topic that you brought in today is really apt. It does not only, applicable to the new startups, but it's also very, very applicable to the an existing organization. And it's really important from our survival perspective. It's not really about anything else. It's really about survival, the kind of disruption happening today. So survival that we need to innovate, we need to inspire, and we need to integrate.
Thank you so much. Ankita Jain, can you also share your thoughts on this?
So, regarding the same innovation, what I would like to say is 8 years back when we started into cashback, the cashback term was not really relevant. And now people are really familiar about the cashback term, but back then people were not really familiar about the cashback term. And so when we introduced the term to India, and this is not a credit card cashback that we were talking about, and we were talking to all these big people like Flipkart, Snapdeals. So back then, Snapdeals and Shopclues, and this is what we were introducing our concept to. That let us do marketing for you. It's a performance marketing. Let's do marketing for you. So during that time also, we got a lot of questions like, what is it that our team cannot do? Because we have our specialized team of marketeers. What is that you can bring to the table? Uh, so then we had the idea that we will only charge you for the sales and on the performance. Don't pay us if we don't perform. Don't pay us if we don't give you sales. So that's an innovative concept that we brought to India, because generally nobody is ready to work on a sales model. People were working mostly on traffic. People are working mostly on clicks. But CPS is something that we got to India, and that's how we started our innovation journey. We've come a long way now, doing a lot of things, but still, I feel it is every day a new challenge is coming up to you, and it is how smartly you can tackle that is what you have to do.
Wonderful. Gaurav Ahuja, can you also share your thoughts with respect to your organization on this topic?
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. my thought in this context that yes, this is inspire, innovate, and integrate is starting from an idea. An idea generation is usually called an invention, and we can buy ideas nowadays very easily. We just have to have a cash-rich company, and we can buy any idea. But the innovation, as per my knowledge and experience, that it is obviously selecting a good idea and converting it into a consumer's preferring it, your target audience preferring it, and making it as a behavior change or repeatable process. Obviously, it is a job of leader. So nowadays, if we talk about startups and when we talk about this inspiration and integration for an innovation, so the only startup which exists, because out of 10 only one or two startups really sustain, because they need to identify a problem rightly, and they have to bring out a solution which consumers really looking for. So my perception towards innovation and integration is finding the right idea and converting it to the consumer preference. This is my thought.
Wonderful. You are right. Very aptly stated. Hitesh, how do you see this? What are your thoughts? We would also love to know from your organization's perspective.
Sure, Rajshri. Thank you for this wonderful conversation which is happening here. So, for us, inspire, innovate, and integrate all collectively, I can say this one statement that you have to be jack of all trades. If you are not jack of all trade for a startup, or for a country like us in India, so a startup won't be sustained. So technically, if I talk about digital innovations and inspirations, so as we all are facing the tough time from past 1 year, and most of the employees are sitting work from home, so we have to keep on inspiring them by some exercises, by some new amendments which can easily uh, decrease their workload, and maybe some recreational activity which we can offer them from work from home, as this pandemic is starting again, and we are into some business which hasn't stopped even in pandemic, even in lockdown. So the car industry or auto ancillary services are always happening, and that's why we have to keep ourselves ready for every sort of new challenge, for new innovations, uh, for all the problems which we can solve to a customer.
Wonderful, Hitesh. Uh, so, Devendra Singh from Digital Mantra, what are your thoughts on this? Inspire, innovate, and integrate.
Uh, Good morning, fellow panelists, and thank you for giving this opportunity. See, this will be very apt time because I represent two entities and both names start with digital. So, digital force and digital mantra. So, that's, I think, sufficient to suffice to understand that we are sitting on the right time. And again, if we're talking about post-COVID scenario, so the periphery of digital ecosystem in today's country is changing day by day. If you see any tool or product, okay, so maybe any social media, Google Suite. So this ecosystem is changing and shifting gears very quick and fast. So if you don't adapt to these changes, I think one of my initial panelists also categorically specified, you're not going to survive. Okay, so to thrive, scale, no matter you are SME, structured SME, MSME, or a startup. So this would be very right time to innovate, integrate, and inspire in some way or the other. Okay, so no matter how digitally active you are, or no matter how digitally alien you are, but it's time to adopt these changes as quickly as you can. And I think this COVID is, I would say, the blazing in disguise. Okay, and we all understand the, like, we are sitting and talking. This has been not been the normal about 2 years back or 1 year back, but now we have been shifting gears. So I think that's my side in terms of how the three I concept of integration, inspiration, and innovation. It's the right time to we can retrospect and see that how it can help each one of us in a way or the other, so that we can be able to scale up and move further. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Devanshi. Thank you. Parikshit Gautam, what are your thoughts on this
What
topic?
are your thoughts on this topic? Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, according to me, innovation is an everyday process. Yes, it's restricted to not only to startups. It's all about all the industry. Anyone who is getting into the everyday new technologies are coming. So you have to integrate with them so as to give a right solution to the people. And innovation is also like what I prefer or what I believe is in it has to be a solution to masses. A country like ours, India, who has such a big population in our country, so if it's not solving a solution, if the solution is not for the masses, then I believe that yes, innovation or something is that kind of lacking. So let's say in our company called Mera Mali, we are providing solutions to doorstep throughout the city, Delhi NCR right now currently. So when people are facing problems in maintaining plants, that's a very simple problem, very easy day-to-day problem like people faces. We are providing that solution. Now, when it comes to innovation, we have to provide what all good things like all good nutrients, what we can provide, what all good practices which we can help people to maintain their plants. So there are different various procedures where we can provide innovation. And now when it comes to technology, when we integrate along with that, then it comes to yes, there are many IT solutions, there are many technical solutions which we have to integrate into our services. What I believe.
Wonderful, Parikshit. That's very innovative. Now, so I heard all of you, and so there was a very common echo that I could feel, and all of us know that innovation is definitely important, and we have to also adapt to the things, and we have to work in a very startup kind of a mood. The approach has to be very startup oriented. Now, Mr. Saraf, can you just share, because in this context, because as you said that while you are the CEO, you're still working as Chief Information Officer, you have to think about the ways, the various ways, practices. So, what kind of innovations that you have introduced or brought in your organization, and how have you been able to integrate uh, it with the existing practices?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing I just want to highlight is, innovation is not always about building a new product, right? I mean, the
Right,
innovation could happen across all the functions in your organization. It could be around
right.
selling it when you're trying to sell a product. It could be new ideas or new ideas about how you develop a product and what pieces of the solution that you want to start off with. So, I mean, just give an example. So, we have a product, that we have now called Network Access, which is a complete, fiber lifecycle management. It's specifically designed for telcos. If, so when I looked at, if I look at the history of, going back, 10 years back or 15 years back, most of the products in this space were primarily desktop products, and they required the customers to not only buy the product but also invest huge amount of money in buying digital maps, which were offline maps. I mean, the cost of the maps would go into like lakhs and crores. So only few organizations could actually adopt that kind of solution. Now, when the Google Maps came into the market and they started giving out maps, Google Maps API, we sort of saw an opportunity to sort of democratize this particular kind of solution. So we took this opportunity. We built a completely web, mobile, and cloud-based solution now, and we brought it quickly into the market. And today, I'm glad to say that we almost have more than 60% market share into this particular space in India today. So the idea was to, it was not a new product in our way, but it was taking a existing product or an idea and building into a platform or building new pieces of technology like Google Maps, etc., and building something which could be used and which could be consumed by all kind of telco operators, small and big, and that's what really drove. So that's one thing that we did. Of course, I mean, while building the product itself, you think about when you look at your capabilities and then you try to innovate. So every product today, I will have an engineering phase and a business phase. Now it's always important to you to figure out which where do you want to start. You want to start from the engineering side or you want to start from the business side. So one of the innovation that we did was most of these products were starting from the engineering side, and we took a call that we wanted to move from the same product. We wanted to move from the business side. And so when you talk about business side, the UI, the way the product is developed, everything changes. So I think that was again a big game changer for us. So these are the few ideas that I can give. Of course, there are a lot of other things that we have done in the organization, but I'll have my other co-panelists to talk about it.
Dr. Rashi, you're on mute. Sorry.
And I start. I just keep talking. Yeah, I'm so sorry. So, very rightly mentioned, sir, that innovation is like not about creating something new or a new ideation. I mean, you ideate and then you get that idea getting executed. There are ways that you can also do something with the existing technology or existing pieces, and how you turn the entire concept to your advantage, which Ankita also talked about at some point. Ankita, can you just throw some light on this sales model with the technology integration or the innovations that you have done?
Our major innovation is into the angles where our customers' user experience is bettered. We work a lot towards customer experience betterment. We keep on doing things from time to time. So for innovation, I can say one thing that we do in our organization is we have brainstorming Saturdays, where be it the junior members, senior members, all of us sit together and we brainstorm, and we give some creative tasks that everybody has to accomplish. We do hackathons internally for our team members for the technology development. So we were working on this Alexa, getting GoPesa to Alexa. So there also we this was just a Saturday brainstorming session, which actually helped us to get onto Alexa. And now if you actually talk to Alexa and you say that, Alexa, I'm looking for coupons and cashback, so it'll tell you GoPesa is a good option for you. So yeah, I mean, ours is more driven towards customers. Ours is more driven towards customers' betterment, and because if the customer is hooked to our website, that's where we are going to get our uh, that's where we are going to get our money from. So yeah, that is really important to us, and that's what we work towards.
Wonderful, wonderful. Parikshit, I thought perhaps you can also share your thoughts on this question uh, because so there is an engineering side, business side. How do you integrate that?
So I would say technology, in terms of technology intervention into the process, like in our field, what we focus is upon, like in our startup, what I say, I'm not talking
Yes, of
about anybody
course.
else right now.
Yes.
So when it comes to plants, right, it's a soothing effect. It's a feel good factor for any person who are raising plants in their balcony. So also a customized option what we provide to each and everybody, even us, every single client at sitting at their home. We want them to feel good when they raise their plants as their babies. So when it comes to like decoration of your balcony or systemizing your balcony, what we are working right now is on artificial intelligence, as well as integrated into the app that can help people who are not aware of what plants they should buy. Like, people go to nurseries, they buy whatever they like, but that's not a process to raise right plants at your balcony, because there are different various factors which depend that the plants will survive or plants will not. So right now, till now, the process was that there were consultants who were guiding people at their home that what plants you should buy. But what we want right now, people to get that automatically. There should not be any, like, it's a basically a customer experience, that what should happen and what should we integrate. Now, when artificial intelligence comes into the play, it actually helps a lot to people to gather knowledge, those who don't have the knowledge. without without any special effort, putting on any effort or some study or something else. People do Google a lot. People study about that. What should they do? What people are actually tired of maintaining their plants. But what we want people to understand that uh, it's not a very big process. It is very easy, and that what we can provide from our end is through something which they are not aware of. So artificial intelligence is what we are trying to integrate into our process, and hopefully will be done by October this year.
We would love to
We
know
would love
about
to
your
know about your
what do you call that,
what
the
do you call
new
that, the new
initiatives that you
initiatives that you
integrate. We would love
integrate.
to know about
Love
it.
to know about
So
it. So
I would like to
I would like to
know from
know from
Hitesh,
Hitesh,
because you said
because
that
you said that
an approach of, the host has unmuted your mic. Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. So we have to have the approach of being the jack of all trades because this is the need of the time. Now, how are you seeing that, and what kind of, what is the one innovation or one state that you've taken towards being very innovative, or in the technology, in the digital ecosystem, with your organization's approach?
Sure. So basically, what we are doing as we are into automotive space, and automotive space is something which is always being manpower centric, be it automotive dealers or be it tire vendors or anyone on that category. But what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to create a one-stop shop that is based on artificial intelligence. And when I say one-stop shop, that will include a journey from buying a car till the scrapping of that particular vehicle. That include regular services, health checkups, car washing, accessories, tires, batteries, insurance, everything you can think of a car, and that will be under one stop shop. And the system which we are building on artificial intelligence, that system will guide a customer that what exactly is meant for this car. For example, if you are googling these days for tires and batteries, Google will show you thousands of options. A customer get confused, and at the end of the day he have to go to a normal dealer or someone who can practically guide him that what's best for his car or what not. So we are trying to create that artificial intelligence platform wherein our platform will guide a customer only those products which are compatible for that particular vehicle on the basis of the vehicle model, make, their variant, and that same artificial intelligence will work out if a customer is you know working for, or maybe forgetting their regular routine service schedule. Lastly, like yesterday also, Mr. Nitin Gadkari mentioned that the toll system will be abolished and GPS based toll will be enabled in future, which is his vision for next 1 year. So we are working on that model wherein we'll be offering free roadside assistance service to the GPS based toll users basis on their usage through a membership package, wherein we can sell our membership package to the GPS device, and on a yearly subscription, our customer get a number of roadside assistance and even access to our AI based one stop shop.
That is very, very innovative, and this is also needed. New especially is going everywhere, and we need big time support or big time, what do you call that, advantages. I mean, you can see that the technology capabilities are going really very crucial for everyone in our personal lives as well. So very, very important point that you have mentioned. Now I would like to ask Gaurav Ahuja. Gaurav, um, you talked about innovation being the, no, it's from the, it has to, I mean, it has to be seen or manifested in the behavioral aspects of the consumers. So my question from that perspective, my question to you is what kind of integration technology, because we are anyway talking about a digital ecosystem here, and what kind of integration or innovation you have seen that you have done or you have seen that are very useful in your kind of business.
So I'll start with my three basic initiatives. When I launched Green Gaddi, I installed plants on my car rooftop. That was first time when I really got attached to this environment concept and plants concept. Because of pollution, this idea came in and we started this thing. We did a lot of R&D and D and research on that. Now this is a foolproof solution. When we got attached to this environment thing, we got in touch with lot of people into who are making handicrafts. So we made a social enterprise to promote Indian handicrafts, but not like they are making and we are selling it. It is not like that. We have a team of because from I run my ad agency from I know branding and marketing. It's my forte. So we are a team of creative guys. So we thought of that we need to give them some good solutions or some good ideas so that they can make some things which are not available in the regular market. As Mr. Saraf said, it is not about starting a new product or innovation is not about bringing a new product, but altogether it is to bring innovation in that product. So being into advertising industry, we used to have all sort of signages. So we started one thing. We trained and we tried to educate all the artisans that what sort of problems they are facing. Like when it goes to ceramic industry, they face problem with the kiln, with the baking of ceramic products, because they are very the people working on this industry. There are two things. One is the topmost industries, the top level industry. They have automated systems. Other guys who doesn't have all these automated kill, so we try to bring in some tools which controls their damages and breakages in when it goes firing. Then we thought of that when we go to any office, when we go to any exhibition or event, there are acrylic name cutting put up in plastic for your abbreviations, for your company names. So we brought in a new product into this segment, that we brought in these alphabet planters. Instead of using plastic or this acrylic, you can use all these planters. You can install indoor plants or outdoor plants as per the space allows, and you can use all these things as a sustainable model. Thirdly, we are into total handcrafted things. So we have a team of nutritionists with us. So we started, and we'll be having an artificial intelligence built up into this. Our app is under this development. So we started a concept of personalized flour, the multi-grain flour which all of us usually eat, that we buy it from the stores, departmental stores or supermarket, and that is a ready formula. But what if I need some more proteins as per my health, and someone else need more of carbs, or more of yeast, or more of gluten-free things? So we thought of this personalized flour concept. Now it is being integrated with artificial intelligence. As of now, we are taking data on a form, and we are making the formula manually, but artificial intelligence will help us, that we'll be getting entire formula for the flour, that what sort of grains should be there, what should be the percentage of the grains, so that everyone, because flour is the main ingredient which we eat entire day. So we are bringing in all these sort of personalized solutions to change consumer behavior, because ultimately we need to understand what we really want and what we really require, and we can change our behavior as per the consumption.
Highly innovative, very highly innovative. And this is what technology does if you have the right approach, right understanding of your customers, your consumers, and technology. And if you know how to run the technology effectively, then it just works wonder. I just wanted to share with you, I received an invitation last year. I received an invitation card, which was like once you have attended that marriage or wedding, you can always dissolve that in the soil. So that works as a, what do you call that, the food for the soil or something like that. So these are happening and people are using it. Not that there's no market. Market is also there. We need to collaborate. But I could just see great synergies here with two speakers, Go Mali, uh, what was that? Yeah, Parikshits and Gaurav's, there can be synergy also, and let the technology players play their part here. So I'll now would like to know Devendra's view on, because you are from the digital mantra. You can't hear me. Ankita cannot hear me. Okay, so can you hear me now, Ankita? Because you are traveling. So I'll also not be wasting a lot of time in.
Actually, I yeah, actually, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because you're missing out on the network. Yeah, yeah. So, Devendra ji,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this entire concept of innovations? If you have done something which are very specific to your industry on the innovation part of it, and integration, what kind of integration? Is it like the forward integration with your customers or a back end with your team? So, how do you see it happening?
Yes. See, being in digital, I tell you a very practical perspective, which happened in recent past that because we have been working with structured SMEs and SMEs, okay? So while working with them, there's a, you can say the market is little depressive, okay? So the moment we represent HubSpot, there's a very sales force, okay? They are the big companies. But SMEs is like not going to adopt very easily, but they like to have a food out of it. That means they want to automate their system, they want to automate their process, but at the same time they don't want to see the big Oracle product, big Salesforce kind of product. Okay, so and if you see the tool environment, the product environment is also taking shape, like Google. So Google is having a band of tool which is free to the public at large. Normally we as a human not pretty aware of it. So what we do that if we do some slight changes and small changes in the Google script, so anybody and everybody can able to utilize the CRM. Okay, any company can able to create an intranet. Okay, any company can able to create a small website. So you need not to bang on big solutions or big solution of the market. Okay, which is little not very cost effective. So this is, I would say, the marriage between the innovation and the whatever we have into the kitty. Okay, if we integrate that part, then I think we can able to, we call it solutioning. No matter how small or big is the company, they like to have CRM in place. They like to automate their sales. They like to automate their marketing. They like to automate their ops. This can be rightly done, I think, with the Google suite, which is free to everybody. So we know as a marketer that how to which part to little twist a bit and do some smart coding, which can be like any day's play, and that's how now they are using it. So the small manufacturing now they can see that yes, now their calling process is automated, their ops is automated, they are working with nice workflows within the Google ecosystem. Okay, I think that's how I think still we can able to cater very big market and the whole. I think marketers these days they are catering to the SMEs and MSMEs because that's a big volume. We are talking about close to millions. Okay, so rather than having a rupee for 100 companies, it's better to have some paisa for 1,000 companies. So that's how we can able to reach this economic scale. So I think that's one thing which we have, I think, focused and we've been doing.
Yes. I think collaboration is something that we really need to focus on, because SMEs definitely they do not have the focus of, they, while they would like themselves their practices or their processes to be automated, but that's not something that they would draw the entire focus on, because they have a market, they have a work to, they have a business to do. So hence collaboration is something that we have to think about, and definitely, as you very rightly mentioned, there are many cost effective ways where we do not have to be very heavily dependent on the big solutions, because big solutions have their own limitation. Also advantages are definitely there, huge, but limitations are there. The cost is also very important for SMEs to manage. I would like to know from Mr. Sharaf your take on the technology innovations that have actually been that have contributed to the SME world or to your organization. So, because you have done some very good changes, brought out some very good changes. Yeah.
So there are many of those, and of course Devendra was also mentioning about some of them. But I think one of the things that really I think it's about the model which has really changed and been very good for a lot of SMEs and MSMEs, which is a SaaS model, right? If you think of products today, now what the SaaS model has done is, which is software as a service, is almost democratized all the products that the big companies used to use earlier. So just to give you a simple example, like let's say CRM, right? I mean, earlier, you if you are an MSME or a small company, you could never think of CRM. You do all your work on some Excel sheets, keep track in Excel sheet, because the typical ones, the Oracle CRM or the Salesforce, were so expensive, it's so complex that it would like take a lot of not only money but resources to get going. Right, today I can go online and I can quickly buy it's probably a CRM for $10-15 per salesperson per month, right? I mean, we have companies like Zohos and things like that which have brought in so many products at such a low price points that we are more than happy to consume and use them today. That's one example where I think we have really benefited, because now all our across the organization we can collaborate, and we can salespeople can collaborate and discuss and keep a track of what is happening. And the second thing which is really what again Devendra was earlier mentioning about digital marketing. Now, I mean, with the work with the whole COVID thing, and also with the how do the small MSMEs and SMEs get access to a global or even in local marketplace, right? The only way they can do it is, I can't have a lot of foot on the street, going around, trying to sell the products. The only way we can do today is like through digital marketing. And so many tools have come out in the market, from email campaign, webinars, things like that, which at a very low price point, that enabling MSCs to extend their reach. So I mean, these are the few tools that we are using, and I think they're great. And of course, from my industry perspective, we talk about like what I mentioned earlier was Google Maps. Let's say one technology which came in, Google Maps. So we use Google Maps as a consumer product in our life, right? But Google Maps also provides Google Maps APIs which you can consume as a part of your internal enterprise application. Like Uber would be one example of application which is built on Google Maps, right? Now, earlier, if I had to consume location intelligence or a map into my application, it was so expensive that nobody would even think about doing it, right? But today, I mean, Google Maps APIs, they are relatively available at such a low price points that we have seen, hundreds and thousands of organizations consuming it on an everyday basis. So I think probably the API, the whole API economy and the SaaS model, to me, there are a lot of game changers from MSMEs and SMEs. Yep.
So I think I should also pose this question to my other panelists as well. So Gaurav Ahuja, how do you see this? I mean, what are, because you have already spoken about your three big ambitious flagship programs, but how have you seen? I mean, this is a general question. What are the broader contributions that have happened?
Sure. See, earlier we used to say that change is the only constant. Now I say that chaos is the only constant, because it is always hard to adjust even the slightest of the change. Whenever we ask anybody that, yeah, we want to bring in some change into the process or operations or the entire system, the conventional methods, it is human nature to resist to that. So for that, chaos is the only constant. When I talk about my three flagship things, obviously, when you do something out of the way and which is not really present in the league, so you have two options: either to prove people wrong, that when they are saying that this is not done, or this is not right thing, or this is not practical or not possible, or you can prove them wrong, or you can prove yourself wrong. So I chose that why I need to prove them wrong. We started this initiative of Green Gatti, and it took me 2.5 years to obviously bring out a solution which is now a foolproof solution. Now we are working hand in hand with schools also, converting their cabs, not the school buses, the cabs, which is being used for teachers travel and other things. So we are converting them into green vehicles. It has been recognized by Startup India also. It has been recognized by Mexican ambassador. She was one of the environment ambassador, and it is also recognized in even in German also. And when I talk about handicraft, the same thing happened there also because the people, the local artisans sitting in the rural belts of India, they are used to working the conventional method. That yes, we have this knowledge and we will do this together. So it was very tough in the starting that yes, we tried to bring in, we started with the next generation of these artisans. We made them understand that if you really want to continue this skill set, if you really want to take your pride and heritage forward, so you need to be adapted into new technology, new things. So we started our 5H policy in our system, that is from history to heritage, from helping hands to making handicrafts and giving happiness to everybody. So this 5H policy we follow. We try to bring the new generation on board. They really want to understand. Then they do make their fathers and grandfather understand that yes, we can build in new things. So same thing is happening in the flower concept also, because when we say to a consumer that you have to give us the entire health data and we'll give you your personalized flower, obviously it is a little apprehension comes in that why should I share my entire health data with anybody? So, but now people are understanding it and they are really in support of all these things. And now I say that though chaos will be always constant, but now chaos can be converted into cheerfulness.
Perfect, perfect. And I can see a lot of AI enabled approaches that you have taken. So, Mr. Devendra Singh, I would also like to know because you are at the helm of using a lot of technology and you're talking about technology services. And from your perspective, what are the technology or digital contributions that you see in this space today and to your work?
If I pick digital ecosystem, I think what many emergence of new technologies is happening at platform level, product level. Because if I see the marriage of these three applications like web, social, mobile, so we all living in a mobile first generation. So if I pick a very recent example of automated SEO, so this is a very new concept, and again I will connect with the market. So if you go to very orthodox market, okay, you will ask that whether they have a website. If they have a website, we have a normal nomenclature of approaching towards SEO so that your business can go top of the Google. Okay, so only reasonable size business can able to adopt this. Now we have the automated SEO platform. So we call it anything and everything related to website, domain, hosting. I would say it's a SaaS-based or license-based model. Like any business can spend 10,000 in a year, and they can have everything up and running. And what all included here? It's not only SEO or Google marketing, website, hosting, domain, everything. So it would be very easy for anybody to adopt and take it. Okay, I'm talking about any kirana shop, any individual, solopreneur, startup, freelancer. They can think of spending 10,000 and going digital. And not only one aspect. I'm talking about the area of stuff. Okay, from this to this. And besides asset building, they can also have like promote locally. It's a automated, like if you're based in say Rajouri Garden in Delhi, so within a span of 10 kilometer, automatically you will get optimized. That means you are locally optimized. You can get any dentist in Kirti Nagar, he or she can expect a call or a request or a business rolling up. So this is the innovation, and there's a market is ready. So there is no GTM these days, go to market. What we heard in our old days, the moment you have the product, the moment you have understood, market is there to adopt. Okay, so that's, I think, I would say the emergence or and disruption. I would say it's, I think, lot many big setup. If I pick India Mart, gone, it's gone. Okay, so it's emergence of new technology and some structured company setup is getting dwindling over, and that's how the whole landscape is changing very fast and quickly. So that I can see very closely.
Yes, disruption is the buzzword. It's not a buzzword any longer. We can see it happening every perhaps, and the time span is so less, and we can see that. But you have very rightly mentioned now. People also, the very small startups or the very smaller organizations, for example, a shop also now has the courage to to think of going little digital, and there are smaller steps that people are taking in that space. So that is something that technology has done, that space has allowed us to do that. We are talking about it and we are doing it. So there is
Technology,
always, you see a very sorry, you saying
yeah,
something, Devendra?
technology is breaking the cost barrier as well, because nobody was talking about a year like 5,000, 6,000 for array of stuff. This is reality today. So, and that's, I think, breaking the whole barrier.
Yeah. I think yeah, Mr. Swaraf also mentioned the same thing, that the bigger solutions are somewhere they are losing a bigger, larger clientele because of the various opportunities that the smaller solutions are providing us with. So I
I'd like
can
to
see
add a
Hitesh.
point here.
Yeah. Please,
I'd like to
Ankita.
add a point here that what Devendra was talking about go to market and all that is now a age old concept. So now same what we are experiencing is with all these D2C brands coming into picture, like Mamaearth, like Man Company. So these are new brands that are coming into picture. They are not your standard FMCG brands. They have that have always been there. We never knew them, but now they are reaching rural markets. I mean, we work with these brands, so I can say that their demands in tier 3 tier 4 markets have grown exponentially. I mean, now even the tier 3 market consumer wants a organic product. He is well educated. The first time mothers want a product that is good for the child. They do not want to opt for Johnson's. So this kind of evolution that has happened, and I think the pandemic has played a very important role, I would say, for the digital evolution as well, because the learning curve has increased many folds. So comparatively, this comfort zone, which would have taken years to come in India, is now exponentially grown. Now people are very comfortable. Even in tier 3 tier 4, they are ordering new brands. They are ordering brands like, there's a brand called Super Smelly. I mean, everybody and anybody would not know, but they are also getting orders from tier 3 tier 4 markets in India. So that is something that actually delights me at my end as a marketer.
Very true. And there are so many neighborhood apps that have come in, come in existence, and people are using them exponentially, as you will rightly mention. Perhaps this pandemic has definitely has been instrumental in seeing this growth. So I would also like to you, Ankita, what kind of workforce support, how supportive is your workforce environment when it comes to innovation and integration? But you have to be very quick with your answer, because yes.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
So what kind of workforce support that I mean, in the context of innovation, and when you are introducing something, you don't ha- it's
Oh,
like one way of looking at it. The other is you have to mobilize, you have to build your team. So how has your workforce been supportive? Yeah, so it
right.
has to be a little quick, Ankita. We are running short of time.
So
Yeah.
yeah, sure. So Rashi, there I've been really lucky, is what I can tell you. We work with a very a young workforce. So we have a team of 45 people in our organization, and our average age group is around 27, 28. My CTO is 28 years old, And so I work with a very young age group, so that gives me an advantage. They are moldable, they are open to change. Rather, I would say they love change, and that is what keeps us as an organization going, because they are very receptive to any change that we put forward.
Right, right. Great, great. Wonderful to yeah. They are more adaptable to change, and they like perhaps partially they have been grown up. They have been grown. What do you call it? They have grown up in that environment. So for them, the transition has been little easier as compared to people who were not born and brought up in that context. Yeah. So I would also like to float this question to Hitesh as well. Hitesh, how do you see? Because there is an AI approach that you have taken, and there's an end-to-end service that you aspire to provide to your customers. So it's a lot of engagement is required. So how your workforce or support system that you have created around you with your team, how they are responding to this entire innovation and integration practices. Hitesh,
As
Hitesh, can you hear me?
like everyone faced this pandemic, and yes, is I'm audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello,
Yes, yes, you are. You are.
I'm
Absolutely.
audible.
Yeah.
So as my workforce is more related to ground workforce, they are interacting to customers over roads or on highways. So this pandemic shown them that they have to be bit skill developed, so they can easily adapt work from home techniques, and being familiar with smart digital platforms like Google and other CRMs, so they can pick their respective duties or assign tasks over the app, and they can easily accomplish it. So as per our organization, we do not have any age band or any restrictions towards the manpower, because most of our manpower is diverse. We have more than 10,000 service providers across India, and an in-house team of around 150 people. So the coordination is totally based on technology, the adaptation. But as this pandemic taught everyone a good lesson towards the skill development, and they are adapting it because they have to be rely on that for future as of now.
True, 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 true. Parikshit, because so that my question to all three of you, uh, why I across this question was because I thought that you are actually handling a workforce that is not very attuned to technology. Ankita definitely has, but Ankita's workforce also doesn't need them to be very technology friendly, highly tech savvy. No, they are not required. But I wanted to understand it. So I think Parikshit, you also are engaged with the workforce that is partially, if I may say, tech savvy or tech oriented. So how are you
So,
seeing it?
so we have a core team which is actually into talking about the age. So yeah, they are all
No,
below
I'm not
30.
talking about religion.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
apart from that, adapting the technology, what we want to integrate. So they are mostly their labors. Okay. So what we do
Right.
before hiring them and getting into the service, putting them into the service, we have to go through a training session. Our also motive is to skill the unskilled. So what we see in urban cities, so people from villages, those who have been doing farming practices and all that, they migrate to cities and they try to turn themselves into a gardener for
Right.
their daily earning. So what we do is we skill them, we update them, what has to be done, what not has to be done, even the communication part, what has to be communicated to the customer, how you have to greet them, basically totally modifying them into a better person or a better human, and a better as well as better into their what they are meant to be, like in the process of gardening, or you can say even the landscape maintenance thing. So we have to make them skilled. Now, when they have to adapt the technology part, that is something, yes, we do face a problem in that on a back end process. But right now, our total focus is upon that integrating the technology where our customers can use. Like if you have heard the term augmented reality. So now what we want people to themselves, like I mentioned earlier as well, the artificial intelligence thing that will help people to gain knowledge. But when it comes to like their own part, when they have to design, they can design their own balcony with the help of when we integrate augmented reality into the process. And innovation and technology, talking about technology should not be like only focused with the tech like the IT process. It is also like we are also working upon how to save water when like we all know that water is going to vanish soon or later. So now we are working upon that, why how we can water plants once in 10 days, once in 15 days, even in this 44 or 45 degrees Celsius of temperature in summers. Now because we have to save water upon that. Now this is something which is required, just how to apply that thing. There's nothing big into that. So that we can also train people. We can also we can train to anyone, be it a labor, be it a customer, be it anyone, how we can save water, how we are right now very much working into this, that how we can save water on maintenance of the plants process. Yeah.
Thank you so much, because this is very important that technology
We are,
doesn't
yeah,
have a
exactly.
purpose
So this is
if
something
it doesn't serve
something
our
which
social
will be
cause.
which we'll be launching soon. But right now it's been a very long process which we have been working upon this, that water saving technology. So it's been a product of IARI PUSA. So yeah, we have collaborated with them. So yeah.
I think the group will also like to learn more about you, so that the group remains. Today we may depart from each other in our individual respective fields, but still we can retain that group so that we collaborate and learn from each other. My last question to all my panelists here: what is the vision? What is your vision, and what inspires you to take up innovation and integration as an approach? You can interpret the question way you want, but I would really love to know from you the vision and your approach when it comes to innovation and its integration. Quick answers from all of you. I'll start with Mr. Saraf.
So, for me, what I mentioned earlier, it's really for survival, right? I mean, I think if you in the today's world and the way the kind of disruption that we are seeing happening all around us, I mean, if you don't innovate and if you don't inspire and integrate with other things, I think I'll be extinct in the next 5 years, right? I mean, the things will start going down. So I think it's really about survival. If you want to survive, and growth, of course, the survival and the growth comes in. And we have so many examples. I mean, Airbnb comes in the whole hotel industry, is, goes around trying to figure
Yes.
out, what's going to with the whole hotel industry. The Uber and Ola comes in and the whole personal car industry, it goes for a toss. I mean, so I think we have seen so many, changes, and it's happening at a very fast pace. It's not like you have a time, it's not like you're going to get, 10 years to figure out what's going on. And to me, that's the most important thing, survival. For me, the innovation is equivalent to survival. If you don't innovate, you will not survive.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. Ankita, your take, because he's also echoing your sentiments. Mr. Saraf is echoing your sentiments. You talked about the tier three, tier two consumers' behavior and the new brands that have come. Please, your thoughts.
So I agree to him. Survival is the key. The reason for any innovation is survival. I would totally agree to him on this. Uh, the reason any entrepreneur would want to invest, because innovation is expensive. Innovation comes at a hefty cost. It is good to talk about it, but it has a lot of cost attached to it that you have to be ready to jump onto. So, yes, the reason an entrepreneur jumps onto it is the survival and the growth hunger. So I totally agree on to that. Being a bootstrap company, being a profitable company, so our space people mostly rely on valuations. We have been paving our way through gopesa.com on our own, being bootstrap and being able to talk good numbers. So yeah, I think growth and survival is the key.
Wonderful. Wonderful to know that, and pleasure, because you said that growth and hunger is also a very important key point along with that survival. And so I would also like to hear from Devendra ji. Devendra, your thoughts.
See, post-COVID, I think the market is graduating to the next level already. So we not to retrospect too much that what to innovate, what to integrate. We just do left, right, and center. Whatever in a small way or a big way we can do and think. And market is there to adopt and take up those things. So because COVID is like I would say blazing in disguise again. So so I think each and everybody is now like thinking like you and me, and they are digitally active. They understood everything. So I think we should not. Innovation doesn't mean that it should come from lab and this will take some time or shelf life. No, there's no time gap between the innovation and the market. It's all in real time.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
I think going further, we should think in that manner.
Yes, and you're very right, because on the one hand, we have to be adaptable to what is there, what are the expectations, keeping the marketing. So market is also adapting, market is also accepting. So there is a beautiful, very strategic and beautiful marriage between the expectations that the market has from us as solution providers, or as entrepreneurs, or as SME leaders, and we also have to be more adaptable to what is expected of us to do. So there's a healthy, very healthy marriage that I can see. And the same question also is floated to Gaurav Ahuja. Gaurav, your thoughts, but very quick ones.
See, for me, integration is when we integrate displacement, we find velocity, and when we integrate velocity, we find acceleration. So for me, the vision was to answer to my kids, to my next generation, that yes, we did our bit and we tried for the better future. For 3H, we are working on, that is happy air, health, and heritage. We are working on 3H for all these things, and I really wish, and my vision is that India, being a population of 1.3 billion, it should not only be the group of consumers, it should be the largest supplier of source too, because we have that capability that we can be the largest supplier. Uh, Once we achieve this thing, then I guess no one can stop us.
Perfect. You have actually summed it up very well. So I would also like to hear from Hitesh. Hitesh, your thoughts on this? What are your vision, or what inspires you, Hitesh? While we have Hitesh uh, talking about it, can I hear from Gaurav Vashni? Gaurav, can you just share your thoughts?
I think the other
Hello,
panelists
I'm
have
audible?
summed up really well. Yes, Hitesh, please go ahead. You're audible.
Thank you, Gaurav. So for us, integration and innovation is all about resolving the problems. For us, it's like it's the same statement as we all you know been practices from a long time, that innovation is the mother of invention, or invention is mother of necessity. So on that note, it's interrelated. Till the time we are not getting anything which should be a problem, wherein innovation has to be happen, no one even bothers to innovate anything. Either it should be a problem solver, or it should be a easy problem easier, I can say, which can easily resolve the issue, or the work which we all are doing. So being in a B2C and B2B2C platform, wherein we are interacting with the exact consumers, and the large base of consumers even. So we believe that the innovation should be of two ways. Either we are implementing it and the consumers are adapting. Till the time the consumers are not adopting that innovation, that's again a point of rethinking for us, and to go back and think that what we missed.
Perfect, perfect. Very rightly mentioned that. And I would also like to hear, so Gaurav, Varshini, can you just share your thoughts on this before I ask Parikshit?
Sure. I mean, Dr. Rashi, as other panelists have summed up really nicely. I'll say, survival for sure. This is something which is going to be which has actually been the key driver to innovate and integrate. I would probably like to add one more, pillar to it, which would be customer experience. I'll tell you the reason. For the last 1 year, when nobody was able to go out of your house, look at the amount of digital payments and the digital infrastructure which has come into the place for the last 1.5 years, and that's purely because to provide a better customer experience to their customers, right? I mean, when I say better, I'm talking about safe customer experience. So yes, survival for sure, that is a key to innovate. But I'll just add to say customer experience has also been a key pillar in terms of driving innovation. And how do you integrate with technology to provide a better service to your end consumer? I think that's been the key.
Very true, very true. I think this is something that Devendra ji has also indicated. And he said that market is also adapting. Basically, market is driven by the customer's experience, and yeah, this was a time for us, all of us, to experience that, and we could see that, and everything was happening in real time. So there was no such thing called lab to the implementation. Things were happening simultaneously. So, and these are, so we have also got sort of accustomed, and we are also digitally, we are also practicing ourselves to be more attuned and conditioned to it. But Parikshit, your thoughts on this? But quick.
As Mr. Devendra and Gaurav has said, the adaptation part is actually is because being an entrepreneur and being a business, all learned people here, it's an everyday process, and throughout the day we keep on thinking about what to deliver, what to do, what to think, which we can make customers much more happy into our own respective fields. But all the innovation and technology will go in vain if we do not adapt that. In our country, it's very difficult to tell anyone or even ask for anyone to understand this kind of a technology, understand this kind of a process. This is to offer for you. So we are all into the market who are offering various services or the other for the benefit of them first, and obviously we are also getting benefit out of it. That's a different. That's a business what we say, but we are there to offer. So for that we are working day and night, and how we can innovate, how we can you can say that how we are like we are offering them the services right now, like in various fields. But if people are not ready to accept that as a new thing, what I said, being very practical, it's a new thing for them. People do not adapt it because there are traditional practices in our country which people do follow much in comparison to the updated and the new technology which are coming into the market. So yeah, I totally believe that if people are not ready to adapt, if you ask for the vision, that I really want people to learn to adapt new things and upcoming things what people have to offer into the market.
Yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. And so we have just come to the fag end of the panel today, and wonderful discussions. There's so much that have been talked about, and if we are able to take 5 pointers out of this power packed discussion, I think we are sorted. Sorted. But just to sum up and conclude, I would like to share the discussions that have happened, because we talked about survival is very important. The growth, the hunger growth, right, Ankita? That was your term. So that is very important. The consumer's experience, Gaurav suggested. Devendraji also talked about the market's adaptability and how digital marketing is everywhere. So it's not confined to a particular segment of businesses. It is across everywhere. So people are talking about technology, and so everything is service now. The service is also as a service that we are going to reach out to people with. The products are definitely services. Software has long been services to available to all of us, and there is a need. There is a market. People are more adapting now, and they are more willing to learn and adapt such practices. And pandemic has definitely played a very important role into into shaping us where we are today. And look, the webinars, we are sitting in our own respectively. Somebody is traveling, somebody is sitting somewhere, and we are still able to have this conversation. We are able to take some good communications, I mean, good pointers also with us. But yeah, while technology cannot just do wonders if there are not expectations, if there are not users, if the market is not open, that is one part of it. The other is we have to also very smartly, very strategically, we have to use technology. We have to pick the pieces. Instead of creating something new all again, there is no time. We have to just do it every day on a day-to-day basis. So we cannot be just be the CEOs or founders or the leaders in our organizations. We have to be thinking beings. We have to be more. We have to act as information officers. We have to act as technology officers. We have to build the team around it. And mm, technology is the way. We have to integrate technology practices within the organization and outside. The market's response has to be seen, because no one knows after 1 year what is coming up. And I can just see the panelists have so much of synergies across, and we could just leverage on each other's capabilities so much in this group of, let's say, 7 or 8 individuals. I can see that this synergy is happening. So we can see some synergies that can take place. So collaboration is very important, by the way, because everyone talked about it, and we did mention fleetingly, all of us, we mentioned that collaboration is important. But this is also has to be taken as a part of the vision itself, that hunger, survival, adaptability, markets response, customers experience, but collaboration. We are expert in our individual fields, but we cannot just do everything uh, on our own. So, a healthy mix and a healthy marriage of the capabilities are definitely the answer for it. With this, I come to the last part of the panel, and I request Gaurav Vashne from Tata Telebusiness Services to kindly extend your vote of thanks. And it's been pleasure.
Sure, Dr. Rashmi, thank you very much. And on behalf of Tata Tele Business Services, I would like to thank Mr. Rajiv, Mr. Gaurav Ahuja, Mr. Divinder, Mr. Hitesh, Mr. Parikshit, and Ms. Ankita, who just had to catch a flight, so left quickly. But really want to thank you again. It's been a great session. Ideally, I would have would have liked this session with a coffee in everybody's hand. Having a physical conversation, maybe in a hotel normally, but that's fine. I think that's the time and that's the adaptation that even we guys are going through. So would really want to be
It's
seeing
again
you.
an adaptation.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I said. It's again an human adaptation that we've been going through in the last 1.5 years. But honestly, I would love to see you guys. I would love to see all of you maybe in some physical forum where we can interact more and have more collaboration as this. Thank you very much and setting this up, Mr. Dr. Raj. It was a great experience to hear all these stuff.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, everyone, for all your support. And indeed, it is pleasure and an honor to be part of this wonderful discussion. And I think the group has already been formed. We should just be talking more there in that group as well. Look forward to again have you in some other forum with us. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. आप लोगों को
Thank
शुक्रिया,
you.
नमस्कार,
Thank
शुक्रिया.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
yeah, pleasure.
Pleasure. Pleasure.